Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here. Now, during the election, Hillary Clinton made it clear that she wanted a no-fly zone in Syria, which would include shooting down Russian planes. This would have led to a potential nuclear war with Russia. Putin's closest confidant claimed that if Hillary won, it would be war. US and Russian generals alike were warning of war.
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia. That's a pretty fundamental decision that certainly I'm not going to make.
The globalists have been aggressing against Russia for a long time, and this led to the security threat being updated to DEFCON 3 a short time ago. As Russia told its citizens to find the closest nuclear bunker, as Russia called home citizens abroad, as Russia premiered and tested some of their most epic nuclear weapons yet, hope seemed to be diminishing. Well, we were all surprised by Donald Trump's victory as we were all prepared for the unfortunate reality of World War III. Trump and Putin recently spoke on the phone about the work that the US and Russia can do together. It certainly is a success to be friendly with superpowers instead of aggress against them and cause all-out war. Of course, if people don't win the war, only the leaders and the bankers. Those that thrive off of chaos and destruction. Putin recently made these comments on Trump's victory.
Несколько часов назад в Соединенных Штатах Америки завершились президентские выборы. Мы внимательно следили за этой кампанией. Хочу поздравить американский народ с завершением избирательного цикла, а господина Дональда Трампа с победой на этих выборах. Мы слышали предвыборные заявления еще кандидата президента Соединенных Штатов, которые были направлены на восстановление отношений между Россией и Соединенными Штатами. Мы понимаем и отдаем себе отчет в том, что это будет непростой путь с учетом той деградации, в которой, к сожалению, находятся отношения между США и Россией. И это, как я уже многократно говорил, не наша вина, что российско-американские отношения находятся именно в таком состоянии. Но Россия готова и хочет восстановления полноформатных отношений с Соединенными Штатами. Исходим из того, что это будет непростой путь, но мы готовы пройти и свою часть. И сделать все, чтобы вернуть российско-американские отношения на устойчивую траекторию развития. Это пошло бы на пользу как российскому, так и американскому народам и позитивно сказалось бы на общем климате в мировых делах, учитывая особую ответственность России и США за поддержание глобальной стабильности и безопасности.
Okay, so we can, from a pragmatist angle, be thankful for this. But let's be serious here. The time for pragmatism is over. He's elected, and now we have a lot of work to do. Liberty is hugely at risk. Mass surveillance was bad under Obama. Imagine how it's going to be under Trump. He's a liberal with some conservative ideals. We may not all die in a war as far as we know thus far, though he did just make former CIA director and neocon war hawk James Woolsey his senior national security advisor. But regardless of this, we have to hold his feet to the fire. Gun laws will be diminished, which is great for our protection of civil liberties. Taxes may be lowered, regulations may be set aside to an extent, but stop and frisk, mass federal deportations, search and seizure, spying, things like the National Defense Authorization Act, war hawks and neocons in his cabinet, the continuation of several globalist policies, more government monopolized market manipulation, the Federal Reserve, and the list goes on and on and on. These are serious reasons to be concerned. In 2008, people stood up against Bush, and rightly so. Obama was then elected president, and the anti-war left laid down. As Obama massacred innocent people, the left did nothing. They became apathetic with the notion of success. They didn't want to be the change, they wanted someone else to do it for them. The left dried up and died under the brightness of the sun they emulated in their minds. They became good little slaves. Now in 2016, people stood up against Obama and the establishment. And rightly so. Trump was then elected president, and now we might just see the right and those outside of the circular spectrum lay down and become apathetic, only perpetuating the infinite circle of apathy and enslavement for years down the road, holding us back from fighting for our individual rights for the sake of instead settling for a collectivist order we more identify with. This begets the enslavement of individuals who disagree. This leads us to servitude and basically waving our hand and saying, good enough. let us continue to stand up. Let us not stand by and say, let's see what happens. That'll be our downfall. Stand for freedom. Stand for liberty. Stand for your individual rights intrinsic within us from birth onwards. Government doesn't give you freedom. It's simply supposed to protect it. However, government always begets collectivist enslavement, and that's why we must deconstruct back to the individual. The most basic fundamental of humanity is liberty itself. Without it, we have nothing. Let's not allow our celebration and ecstasy to blind us from the reality of the road ahead. Trump's elected. Now set that pragmatism aside and demand accountability and absolute freedom. Our future depends on it. This election has divided the liberty movement, and it's time we get back together and fight together against authoritarianism and government coercion. We must be voluntary. We must be free. Never forget that you're the change you wish to see. Thanks everybody for watching. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated. You can also check out the Anarchapulco link below, which will give you 10% off of your tickets to Anarchapulco if you type in promo code WAM. That's WAM. We'll see you next time. We got much more coming at you. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.